Yo, what is up, guys? Looks like we are live. We are live. We have our next match in the works here. We have James Sherlock versus Lafong Hua. And the match card is actually the other way around. Lafong Hua versus James Sherlock. So we're here, boys and girls. Let me actually set up Caleb. There you go. See Caleb there too.
What's going on? Okay. All right. And we're off, right, James?
We are off.
Okay. You want to talk against the game a little bit and then talk about the products a little bit?
Sure. Guys, welcome. We are here at the Mental Athlete Rapid Chess Championship. Another round. This is Match D. What's going on? What's up, Chess Nerd on YouTube? You're rooting for James. Nice. Okay. If whoever you're rooting for, put it in the chat there. I actually just took my second dose of Mental Athlete. Of course, I take it twice a day, every 6 hours. Twice a day here. I definitely took mine for my sharpened focus through the rest of the day. Basically, love that second kick that I get throughout the day, especially when I have long days and just working hard. Say extra in it. And obviously my L-theanine. Here, it looks like we have some type of Nimzo Indian where there is no E4 in. Like, I don't know. How did this move order happen? I'm about to check this out in a minute. Thanks, Chess Nerd on YouTube. Appreciate you, bro. So, we had a Nimzo. Yep, E6 bishop. Before F3, this is the K-Mach variation or something like that. C5, A3. Okay, takes. Oh, he took this way. Ah, yeah, I'm used to seeing this takes here. But he took here, which makes this move order definitely strange. And after D5, now Li Fong takes. Maybe we'll take with the pawn to have an isolated pawn here. There it is. And we have a sort of a strange variation, a strange sequence of moves here, it looks like, with pawns on C3 and B4. What do you think about this, Caleb?
Well, I've actually recently taken up the Nimzo myself, but I'm definitely unfamiliar with this variation, especially what happened early on. So this is all very kind of new to me, but viscerally, I would have to take white because I feel like even though it looks a little ugly, the two bishops are definitely gonna be strong later in the game once he castles. Just gonna be a little bit of time, bishop b2, maybe c4 comes a little later. So I feel like it's a very, very solid position for both, though.
I believe so too as well. I think it's pretty solid. There's play for both sides. Obviously, with the two bishops, you want to keep them and try to be aggressive here. The idea, though, with this knight e5 was now, hey, if we move the bishop, knight c4 could be coming with something. So he didn't. He said, you know what? Hey, I'll give the bishop pair back. I'll put a knight in the center, playing against your isolated pawn. Is what he says.
Yeah, it's another weakness. And there's the a file. White's got that too. I guess it's like White's got the a file, Black's got the c file and D. Sorry, C and E. So very interesting. Should I share a bit about the sponsor for the tournament?
Sure.
All right. So Sage Extra is the sponsor. So what is Sage Extra? So first off, Mental Athlete is a cognitive supplement right here. It's a chewable tablet that you take before your time of desired cognitive task. And Sage Extra is our hero ingredient. So what it is an extract from the sage plant. So a company called Stratum Nutrition, been in the business a long time. They have a lab and they get a certain acid from the sage plant called rosmarinic acid. And that acid has been standardized to a certain amount where they have actually done double-blind, placebo-controlled clinical trials and tested it on all age groups and shown that it has benefits for attention, focus, and especially the most important, short-term memory. So I can share one of those studies in a second. Maybe we check out the game for a bit, but that is the big ingredient here. Kicks in instantly.
Yeah, and I definitely feel that, and I know for myself, I'm able to recall memory better on just certain things, and it's incredible. I already had a pretty good memory. Chess players, I believe, do have a pretty good memory, but I definitely was able to recall things that I know I probably haven't done before. Oh, Crash Let Me Rich, I did get that answer too as well. I see you in chat. Yes, it's actually Caleb. You were talking about this before. Crash Let Me Rich asked about, hey, if I use the code on the subscription, how does that work? And I was told I'm gonna get that answer for him. So can you tell Crash Let Me Rich on how that works? And for anyone that wants to know about the code, that you can get 33% off using my code JamesC3 in chat. What do you actually get and for how long?
Yeah, so that code, if you apply it to the singular purchase, will save you 25. So it'll bring it from, I think, 73 with shipping down to about 45. And if you use it for a renewal, so that means the product will come every month, you'll get a percentage off every single month. So 33% off every single month. And you also asked a question about a study on autistic adults. Now, while I'm not sure, so they have not. So our products, I should clarify this. The product specifically hasn't been tested, but the ingredients in the product have been tested. And actually, one of the ingredients was tested on patients who had ADHD. And I could get into that now, James, if you think I should share that study.
Sure, that'd be great. Definitely get into the study. People would love to know the science and how things work with the ingredients that we have in our product.
Let's do it. So one of the ingredients called phosphatidylserine, otherwise known as PS, just a capital P, capital S. So there was a so first off, the ingredient. So it's derived from the soybean, and it's a phospholipid. It's referred to as the brain's fat. Very good for strengthening neural pathways to make memories form. So, but the study they did, so there was a university in Japan, Kurashiki City College, and they conducted a test. So it actually wasn't adults, it was children aged 4 to 14 who had ADHD symptoms, and they tested this on patients who had not yet received medications for ADHD. They did it on 36 children, and they were given 200 milligrams of placebo daily or placebo for 2 months. And then they measured ADHD, short-term memory, and attention. And the group that took the phosphatidylserine significantly improved or lessened their ADHD symptoms, short-term memory, and attention with stuff like impulsivity. So we are not claiming, and we cannot claim, that phosphatidylserine cures ADHD, but it has been shown in studies to help with that sort of stuff.
That's incredible. As incredible
Yeah.
as the natural ingredients, what they do, and how they affect your body, which is nice. It's like a super peel in a way, or super tablet, because it's not a peel. With the ingredients that you can use, especially for me, I'm an amino acid guy myself, so I was taking a lot of aminos when working out. Basically, having a BCAA, aka branched chain amino acids, when I was working out. I would have them usually during or sometimes before or after the workout. It doesn't really matter as much. Usually optimal, I think, was usually working out wise, while working out, just for electrolytes and etc. But one I didn't get too much was L-theanine, and that one helped a lot, especially when it comes to my focus and my memory, reaction time, and stuff like that, and also muscle recovery and recalling things, which I thought was very incredible with the tablet. So I've been liking it. I use it every day. I look forward to it every day. You know how you have that cup of coffee every day, for our coffee drinkers out there, and you're like, you get that first sip of coffee. That's what I feel now, and I don't have to, I've cut back significantly on caffeine because of the product. So I wanted to really kind of wean and get off of the caffeine thing, because, especially yesterday, talking to the scientists, or even Sam was talking about a guy, Sam Robson, yesterday. It was like, yeah, and this one guy using 6 espresso shots. I would never want to get to that level. When you got to take 6 espresso shots in a day, oh my goodness! If that is you, I am praying for you. And go click the link right now, okay? To stop playing around and get James C 3. Use the code, and we can get you off those 6 espresso shots. Let's get you down to like 1, and then maybe a regular cup of coffee or decaf from there. But yeah, definitely love the product myself. Highly recommend you guys try it too. And yeah, we're here.
I would have to say this definitely took a bit of a dark turn for actually, that's a solid move there. Mm-hmm. I thought it was very bad for white, but
it was at first. Yeah, I was actually just looking at that. Yeah, right here. This whole sequence I thought was really nice for James, as he got Queen C7, he hit the pawn, B6, just a nice move, defending a little bit of A7. Plays Rook C8, hits the pawn, Bishop D2, and I was like, oh, okay, Queen C5. Not sure what this was about too much, but he played Knight C4, hit the bishop, take, and then as he backs the queen up, brings a knight in, and E4 was really strong, making the knight move around. Now he can follow with Bishop E3. It feels like moves are coming in So it's just kind of a back and forth thing here. This knight is very bad. In fact, one of the books that I loved a lot was Grandmaster Preparation Positional Play, where it talked about, what's the weakness in the position, worst place piece, what's opponent's idea, obviously. And worst place piece is this knight, which you're going to have to end up rerouting him, or at least try to. So maybe we'll have opposite color bishops at some point. A knight e6 might run into knight f5. Like, I don't know. White feels like they're a little bit better, just a little bit, if black is not accurate.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, I suspected earlier that dark square bishop would eventually come to life somehow. It definitely feels like it is, but the time is very even across both players, which is nice.
That's a good move. Rook here is really annoying. Let's figure out what do we want to do now with the knight. Maybe knight e6. Knight e6 runs into knight f5, and he goes queen. Okay, queen e8 to say, hey, you know what? I'll attack your pawn. You take mine. I take yours. Rook b1 could answer that one.
Yeah, good move.
Knight e6, knight f5 again hits knight d6, trying to hit everything with the forks.
Yeah. So James, you were talking about L-theanine earlier. Let me share a little bit about that ingredient and what it's about. So guys, L-theanine is an amino acid. It's found in green tea, and it's really something that is it's found in plants, in many plants. So it's a very clean ingredient, and it is used for a couple things. One is alleviating stress and keeping your body's kind of temperament down. Another is focus and attention. And I would love to, before the game gets too crazy, share one of the studies that was done on L-theanine.
Sure.
So they tested it on attention and reaction time response. So the University of Shiga in Japan also aimed to evaluate the effects of L-theanine and reaction time in healthy university students. So guys, it's not like this stuff is only for people who are experiencing mental decay. A lot of these ingredients are tested on healthy people. So they got 18 university students participating in a double-blind placebo-controlled trial. They had either 200 milligrams of L-theanine or a placebo, and they assessed the participants 15 to 60 minutes post-consumption. So this is they were looking at them right after, and they found that the L-theanine intake significantly enhanced visual attention and reaction time in participants with high anxiety. So that was very interesting, because this study was seeing that students who are under a lot of this pressure of school, chess players also experience this. When you have high anxiety, they saw a lot of improvement in reaction time and attention in these people. So that's definitely something to think about. When you get into times in a chess game where your heart rate is going up and you're getting anxious, this is something that can really help in those moments.
That actually makes so much sense now, because I noticed that I'm much more calmer now. And especially in situations where I play a lot of bullet, I play a lot of 30-second chess. I'm studying a lot, and I am playing blitz too as well. But after I'm done all my work for the day, and I've studied and I played blitz and stuff, okay, cool, now I'll play some bullet. And I'm usually playing on alts only, so I'm always on alternate accounts, so people aren't watching my games anymore because prep and stuff. So I'm playing on my alt accounts, and I'm calm against guys 28, 29, 50, just playing calm and making right moves and crushing. Feeling great. And I'm like, man, I've never been able to beat these 28, 29s consistently as I have been since I've been taking the product. I'm not gonna lie. So that's helped a lot. Also in the markets too, as well. As you guys know, I do like to trade. I am a trader in the futures market, day trader that is. So I trade every day, usually Monday through Friday in the markets, which has been very successful for me, very consistent and profitable. And in there, a lot of times you need patience. Oh my goodness, you need patience, because if you don't have the right entry, you can definitely lose. You won't follow your rules. You won't have the patience. You won't have the right entry points. You may be correct on what you want to do, or you may be correct with the right bias, or even the right type of trade, or the right, again, daily bias for the day if price is going up or down. It might, but it goes when it's ready to go, not when you think so. And if you don't have that patience, you can definitely, be an unprofitable trader quite quickly, as I was for a long time, not having enough patience, basically. So I've been calm enough to wait before I pull the trigger there, before I take my entries, and have much more success here, and being calm while doing it, which is important, and controlling the emotions, I think, which helps a lot.
Yeah, that's very inspiring to hear, James. This is a very interesting position.
Yeah, lights up a pawn, right? 3, 4, 5. Yeah, he grabbed the pawn, and actually, what happened here? I think Lafong is actually just on the driver's seat now. Actually, right around this area, I saw this A5 move, and I was like, oh, I thought his idea was B5. I was like, oh, okay, cool, B5. And then knight takes A6. I thought this was a really cool plan because the rook seemed trapped with his B5 idea, and then maybe he'll sack two for the two for the pawn, maybe something like this, and knight A6, and then maybe a exchange sacrifice. But he took here, allowing this rook to take the pawn. So yeah, I understand he wanted to grab the squares here, but it just didn't pan out the way that James wanted it to at the end of the day, because he's just fighting down a pawn right now, where white is feeling a little bit better. Of course, he wants to now he's threatening to take this pawn here. So Lafong is looking quite comfortable, I think.
Yeah, and that bishop on d4 is so nicely placed, anchored by the pawn on c3. It's a classic motif. You want to anchor your pieces. Very, very, very nice position. Knight comes to d5. Very good.
Very nice. Very annoying for him. And of course, one thing I do know is James plays a lot of bullet online, like me too as well. I play a lot of bullet, a lot of 30-second chess. And Lafong doesn't play as much, even though he's up some time here. If James can get it in more of a closer position to, more bullet, he has some better chances, I believe.
True. Yeah. Guys, just want to let you know, we are going to have a special scientist, doctor, come on after the second game is over to answer all your questions in the chat and some overarching questions about the product. So make sure to be there for that. She is an expert in her field and has worked with nine-figure companies as heads of science. So she is the real deal.
Yeah, she answered all the questions yesterday, and just flawlessly. It was like, she's an absolute beast. Shout out to her. James, under a minute here. Actually, that's kind of a lot of time for him. But wait a second. There's no increment. Not that he plays increment, but there is no increment here. So it's very, very vital here. Li Feng having an extra 40 seconds. Obviously, use the clock as a piece here, and that is very important to not flag here. Speaking of bullet, are you going to do a stream to do a hyper arena tonight? Not tonight. I actually am doing a lot with family lately, as I just had a new baby. So I am changing my schedules a lot of times when it comes to night streams. I would love to, obviously, miss them. So it won't be as many. It will be a lot of them. Will this mental athlete get me to GM? Patrick gave me that. I always say, ELO is sold separately. ELO is sold separately, but it can help. It can help you tremendously, Patrick Gamer. It can help you tremendously.
I should actually share. I started. This product came off the shelf about April this year, and from the period of June to August, I went up about 150 FIDE points, almost 200 actually. So it definitely helps, especially in the early morning or late night rounds when you're feeling a bit groggy. It really gets you into it.
Ooh, yeah. Hold on. There's some mating ideas. Maybe not. Okay, King can go to H7, but yeah, I think he's gonna go with a dirty flag here. Push. That's a nice move. G7 is hanging. 15 seconds on the clock. Draw, but he is going to look for that flag, and it is part of it. It is part of the game. Maybe not.
King G5. It feels very. Ooh, he didn't play it.
There it is. King G5 now. F6. Oh, that's a good move. Maybe take with the pawn and then rook back to D6.
Yeah.
Bishop D4 first. Anchor the bishop. Rook H6 is made. Oh, caught him. Wow, James definitely with a head shake there. Not the happiest. And of course, who would be? Obviously, these guys take it very, very serious here. It's very annoying to lose in that way. Obviously, he was running out of time. And of course, time is part of the game. And here we go with the second game here. Let's see if he can strike back with white. As we know, James is definitely an E4 player by heart. He plays a lot of E4. We've been to tournaments together. So he plays a lot of E4. Accelerated, one of my favorites here from Lafong. Let's see how he goes.
Yeah. G6, D4. See, I myself am not one to go into the open Sicilians all the time, but James is a very sharp player. So,
Definitely love these type of games. Yeah, he wins the Queen A5 version. I actually lost the game OTB with this because I didn't know what to do. I just played Queen A5 and like hope for the best. Didn't look at the file. Should have. But yeah, Queen A5 is definitely a topical move. Really nice to play actually. See what happens. Looks like James is not familiar with this one too much. He's frozen. He did not move. Usually he's a fast mover, and this is not something maybe in his preparation. Trying to figure out what do I play next here. Lots of moves though. Castles, knight b3. There's a lot of moves you can play.
yeah. Let me get into one of the studies on Sage Extra, the sponsor for the event. So as I said, it is an extract from the sage plant, developed by Stratum Nutrition, and the study here was done in the UK, University of Westminster, and they wanted to test how sage reduces inflammation in the brain and supports brain chemicals for memory. So getting into what inflammation actually is in the brain might be very dense, and some stuff that maybe the scientist, our doctor who comes on can answer. But what it essentially means is the pathways for neurons to communicate with each other are kind of bumpy, and messages can't get passed too easily. Therefore, not allowing memory or your short-term memory connections to form. So what they did was they tested Sage Extra on 12 humans, and they wanted to see its impact on the inflammation, and they saw that it lowered most inflammation signals in cells, and it also reduced oxidative stress, so keeping you less stressed. And it showed that that sage blocked a very important enzyme. So this is an enzyme that the enzyme that it blocked is called acetylcholinesterase. And
That's a crazy word.
it is a crazy word. What acetylcholinesterase does is it stops the movement of stuff like dopamine and serotonin, which are things that your brain produces to, be happy and to work well. So Sage inhibited this thing that was inhibiting the good things, and therefore made attention, working memory, all the stuff, massive improvement in a very short time span. So that is a bit about our sponsor, our sponsored ingredient.
Also, we have a question in chat. Is it better than eating salmon? I always see that salmon for omega 3s.
So omega 3s are very good. They're a form of fat, very similar actually to the ingredient phosphatidylserine. So salmon is incredible, but when you think about the amount of salmon you would need to have to get the same omega 3s or the same good fatty acids that you might get from one of these ingredients, it's just would be a ridiculous amount of salmon. So while salmon's great to have, the idea with supplementing is that you can get the very powerful ingredients in a very small tablet, right? A very small tablet here, making it much easier. You would also have to pay a lot of money to get the amount of salmon, to do that. Here, the tablet amounts about $1 a day, It's very different.
Yeah. In fact, when they say getting it from foods is the harder thing. You have to eat incredible amounts of it to get, sort of servings you're looking for as well, where it's just more difficult to do. So great question there, Panzer Gamer.
Yeah. This is a very I would have to like black here. I mean, it looks like a very classic Sicilian. It doesn't feel like White's attack is amounting to too much, but it's also kind of cramped for a black. So maybe this is a little better for White. Tough to tell.
Yeah, here I think I like White's position, especially with the F4 ideas in E5. I'm actually curious again. How did we get here? I know he traded the bishops. Yeah, knight b3, queen d2. So he went for the bishop trade. Usually, I like going bishop h8 or rook e8 to really avoid this type of trade because the dark squares are incredibly weak. As White just has a clear plan, which he goes for. Ends up trading a little bit. Rook f3. I like. I'm definitely a fan of White's position. Even doubling the rooks, trying this type of idea, like all kind of stuff looks good. Rook d3. I think white is sort of a favorite, but black has no real weaknesses. Okay, maybe the king, but no pawn weaknesses, as white has just a damaged structure. Not to say it's a lot, but it's a slightly damaged structure. I think white is a little bit comfortable.
Yeah, I would agree. Maybe there are some ideas of black. See, I thought Lafong should have brought his rook maybe to c8 and go for b5, b4, put some pressure on the c2 pawn, but he brought the rook to d8. I'm not really sure what the idea there was behind rook d8. We'll have to see.
And Lafong in the think tank too, as well as thinking he is not familiar either. I think he is slightly a little bit uncomfortable. Just trying to find moves. He's playing queen a5 here, just looking for something. He doesn't really know yet. Queen a5 on the move here. Their rating seems really far apart. Yeah, this is rapid, but he's actually, you know, they're both FMs. If you see the title there, they are both FIDE masters. So yeah, the strength is there, but the rating is a little bit different here. So sometimes rating is not accurate, to say the least. Right? Depends. Sometimes a player is much stronger than their rating, which is quite normal in this day and time, especially with the internet, and especially with products like how we have with the Mental Athlete, which is giving, you know, we're not guaranteeing points, but you definitely will have a focus and an edge different than your opponent that will help you gain more rating points there.
Yeah, and this is something also I should hit on, that this is not only something that's going to hit you short term, especially with the Sage Extra. One of the ingredients, Cognizant, who we're going to have the head of sales and head of sports management there come on tomorrow and Tuesday. That ingredient has been studied in people, again, of all ages, to show that the longer you take it every day, it will confer long-term memory benefits that just kind of have exponential growth. And like once you've been taking it for a year or two, it will have a registered difference that you will feel. It's pretty remarkable. We can ask Jacqueline a bit about that when she comes on after this game.
Yeah, I'm definitely a fan of just the longevity of what it can do. I've been using it already, and I have a clear difference in my focus and my my work, how I do things now. My execution, I think, is better. You know, because of the product, guys. I'm lined up. I'm locked in. Right, the Sage, especially with the L-theanine as well. Are both players using a Sage supplemental? Great question. Lifong, unfortunately, it did not get it because of Canada. So Canada has some things going on with the mail. So, and James said I think that he was going to take it. So we'll see if he ended up taking it. He says, "Whoa, where are the peer-reviewed outcomes?"
So, I'm gonna assume you might be referring to the studies by peer-reviewed. There are many studies on our science page. You can go to James' link and go to our science page. There's a good 11 studies on the 5 ingredients that make up this product. That's the best I've got for that question. With the peer-reviewed outcomes. Maybe that's not what you were talking about.
What's up, Chris? How are you?
James is definitely managing time much better this game, though.
Yeah, he's just comfortable. I could tell he's much more comfortable. He has some attacking chances too as well. I think he's just filling this position a lot better than the one he had before with the black pieces there. So we could see a strike back here. Knight g4 is a good move here, attacking. You know, best defense is offense. The knight can reroute if we have to. Strange reroute, but possible. Queen has to move probably to g3. Keeping an eye on the f2 square. You might see queen b6 or queen c5. Pressure it a little bit more, maybe bring the rook over, try to kick this knight. We might see an h5. I think this was a good practical move, knight to g4.
Yeah, even some knight h6, knight f5 maybe could be very interesting.
Absolutely.
h5 first. That's a very good move, because I think what he's saying there is if I want to go knight h6, knight f5, I'm stopping g4.
Also, he has this idea too with this h4, knight g3. I mean, you can just see it lining up with the rook coming to the h file, which is the little fun tricks that we have there. It's just something to pay attention to. Rook d4 kind of blocks a little bit of that.
Yeah, guys, after this game, we've got Jacqueline Jax coming on to answer questions in the chat. So if you have any questions about the science or overall nutrition, get them warmed up, start typing them, and we will try and get them answered.
Absolutely. Any questions you may have, guys, about the product, about the science behind it, anything that you have, we'd love to get that answered. We have some questions of ourselves as well. Of for us for her, but we would love to hear from you in chat.
Yeah. So, Queen B6. I don't know. It's so hard to pick a favorite here. I mean, it feels like the plan for white is not clear though. It's not clear. I mean, maybe something around like B5, Knight A4, take over that, but still to what end? You know, not clear.
Yeah, and he played Knight A4, actually getting his queen against off of this line where we did talk about this idea before with Knight A5 into G3 with H4 coming. Moves the queen back to C7. Knight is off sides, so I'm going to C4.
Ooh, I've got an idea here. Rook D3, Rook C3. Get the rooks in. All right, he went for Knight C5, but
yeah, he will get kicked back quickly. I wonder where the Knight's going. He's lining up. He's getting the free moves in. You know, this is getting a little bit closer. But again, this idea is really hard to create now.
Yeah, because of Rook D3, there was actually Knight F5. Rook C3, Knight takes D4, hitting the queen, so that would not have worked.
Knight kicks it back.
Kicking the Knight out. So I'll give a little bit about Cognizant, one of the studies they did before we get Jacqueline on, just to prime you guys. So Cognizant is a form of choline. Choline is something that you find, just like you asked about salmon earlier. Choline is found in foods like salmon, meat, eggs. It's something that your brain also naturally produces to, again, strengthen the pathways in your brain, improving attention and focus. But the amount you get from stuff like meat and eggs is a minuscule amount, nowhere near the amount that you actually get from supplementing for it. And while there have been many studies on over 30 studies over 50 years, one that I found the most really the most convincing was it's been proven far and away to help older populations, but they tested it on 75 healthy teenage males who took it or a placebo every day for 28 days, and then checked how well they could respond to tasks. They did this at the Brain Institute, University of Utah, Salt Lake City, and they found that those who took Cognizant focused better and completed tasks faster than those who took the placebo. It also helped them stay more focused and less impulsive. So, you know, when you're coming up with candidate moves, you can see a move and instantly go to it, but there are actual decisions that happen subconsciously in your brain that allow you, that sometimes make you just make that move. But what Cognizant can do is it can actually kind of help you slow down that process and take your time and be less impulsive. James. Very applicable for chess players, no?
Yeah, absolutely. That's good with the Cognizant, of course, to be able to slow it down a little bit, because you have to think, you have to, you know, use our mental capacity, use our brain as much as we can, guys, because this is a sport where we use our brain. And of course, if you say sport, some people are like, oh, chess is not a sport, but for us, we are mental athletes. If you want to take it to that next level there and use your brain, guys, and you do want to be able to use it at its maximum capacity. So yeah, I think I've been able to, you know, tap into another level, I think, with my work, with my studies, and just be overall better, I think, which one thing I'm always trying to do is to be better. They say try to be 1% better every day, right? You know, now, in fact, I think this actually gives us that chance to do that too as well, without, you know, just being stressed out and using stuff like caffeine, you know, stimulants that actually, you know, aren't the greatest due to study. In fact, caffeine was one that I always love to use, not like six espresso shots as we talked about yesterday, but definitely something to give me an edge. Right, even though chess players, as we go and sit down with long games, we do use stuff like, you know, caffeine. We also use tea, all these other things that give you that mental clarity. So with crashes, and tea is not, you know, tea is a good thing, but, you know, a lot of coffee and Monsters and Red Bulls, you know, speaking to a lot of you guys in chat right now, you know. So if that is you, it's time to make a switch here. Maybe, you know, maybe one less energy drink today, maybe one less cup of coffee today, and then replace it with the product here. Replace it with the product. Of course, obviously use James C3 and get 33% off, guys. And here, this actually is a draw-ish type of game, but Rook B2 or Rook E2 is really strong. Rook B2 is coming up.
looks like Lafong again is definitely pressing. Playing very strongly this match.
Real Rock says, now that you say that, let's get a coffee. You know what, Real Rocks? I need you to go to the site right now and get you need to get a subscription. And you need to buy 2 bottles right now. That's what you need to do, Real Rocks. And then get you a coffee. And then, we'll talk afterwards. What's up, Gypsy?
Rookie 2. I'm thinking how white can, kind of save this. Yeah, Queen
D4. He said, no, perpetual where?
I would not trade queens here, though, if I were white.
King very active versus a less active king.
Well, but, is there another option? Maybe not. Because you got to defend the pawn. King E5, though, is never a spot you want to be in with the passive rook.
Yeah, that's tough. It's midnight here. Then why are you getting a coffee, Real Rocks? You're not trying to go to sleep, are you? Why are you getting... Unless you work night.
Coffee is not the move. We will have to hear some stuff from the doctor when she joins, but caffeine is not the way to go if you're in the longevity game and you want sustained energy.
Come on, Real Rocks. Unless you are unless you work a night shift or something. Queen takes C3 looks really good here. He takes it, he goes forward, and he's up a pawn. But then he say, oh, I got this extra pawn, and it's really hard to convert this. Really hard.
This should be a draw. If I had to guess. Time's also very even but low, so.
And it was a draw offer, and Lafong declined. Lafong declined. It just has 0 effect anymore. Wow, coffee has a 0 effect on you, man. That's tough. That's because you're getting too tolerant for it. It's time to make a switch, bro. Use the link. Use the link. This is definitely for you. Real Rocks. Yeah, we got to make some changes, sir. He's going to try to play this position out, which is totally normal.
Yeah, because king and pawn actually should be winning. That's hard to say. It probably is. So Black's got all the right to play this out. Yeah, it's a good move, Queen E4.
Yeah, he's going to play it out. Hitting the pawn. Okay, maybe we got a G5 coming. And then King G6. Start moving forward a little bit. Plays King G8, a little bit of shuffle. Trying to keep his time at a reasonable, time here, actually. Because if he goes under a minute, it could be problematic.
Yeah.
No repetitions. Maybe F6. Start pushing the pawn. King E7. Wait. Draw is close. G5. There it is. He said not anymore. But he needs to be careful with his time.
Yeah, I mean, it's still very hard to win this if you're Black because you can't really make progress with the queens on the board. So you got to trade them somehow.
Yeah.
Queen E3, I guess that... I don't know. That might have worked. Oh, no, it's check. Okay. Queen E1, Queen E5.
Ooh, got to be careful. There's a lot of checks. He blocked it. Nice.
Yeah.
Anything can happen here. 43 seconds. The time is really close. King H6. Is he going to take the draw? Oh, he does not. The phone looks very calm. Like he's like not moving much. What's up, Jim? What's going on? Always check, exactly.
Yeah, all right. Should be a draw. Oh, wow. He is not taking
He is not taking his draw. He goes G4. He's making it very annoying. No checks. Li Fong. He wants it all. Will he get it? Queen C3 check. Take the pawn. Take with the pawn. He takes with the queen. Oh, it's got to be draw now. Yeah. King has no way to run around. Oh, he says, what? You don't want the draw? He may not take it. Who will win? This is just a time scramble now. Whoa, that was crazy. That was crazy. Anything could have happened. You can remind them that do not start after the second game here. and we can get started with the sciences.
So, James, has she joined the Zoom yet?
She is not.
All right. So I think she'll join in a couple minutes. I think we told her 5:45. So
Yeah.
we can take a little break now, and then when she comes on, we can resume.
Okay.
I say that's what we should do.
Yeah, guys. Hey, you could take a short break. She's joining at 5:45, so you can take this as kind of an intermission here. Just take a short break. Be back at 5:45, and we'll talk with her, and then you guys can continue the match.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks.
Cool. All right, guys. What's up, Stokes? I see you in chat. Yo, is this 10-0? Yes, it is.
Sorry, Canty, I didn't catch that. What'd you say?
Oh, she is joining. Actually, she's joining now, but we're just gonna talk with her a few questions,
All right,
and
cool.
you guys can just come back, in like a few minutes here, and then we can we'll ask some questions. We'll have her. She'll be here right now though, but you can come back in a few. Okay.
James, is she on now?
Yeah, she's joining right now, but I'm giving the players just a short break to come back.
Perfect. Yeah.
Let's see,
Let's do that. All right.
and then we can just talk to her until then.
So 1.5. That would definitely be an upset for Lafong to win 2.5 half. But we will see.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. All right, guys, get your questions ready.
Hello, Jacqueline.
Hi there. They can't hear
Hi.
me.
Yeah, no, they can now. This is break.
Okay.
We did it a bit differently this time.
Awesome.
Short
Good.
break. Looks like the players have stayed with us. So you can turn your camera on too.
Okay. Great.
You can turn your camera on.
They look so serious. I don't want to disrupt them.
Oh yeah, no problems here. No problem. Right. Caleb, are you joining us in the Zoom?
Yeah, joining right now.
Okay. We have Caleb coming too as well. Jacqueline, how are you? And these are our players:
Good.
Lafong,
How are you?
Pua, and James Sherloff.
Awesome.
Very strong players as well. All right, we're bringing Caleb in to kind of run the show a little bit, ask you some questions, and talk to you about product. All right, Caleb, you can take over here. We have Jacqueline with us.
How you doing?
But how is it going?
I can't hear you super well. So
Yeah,
let me
turn
see
your
if-
volume up if you can there,
I
Caleb.
need your volume up a little.
Can you hear me now?
Better, but maybe a little bit more.
Ooh, okay. It's not coming in very well. Give me 1 second.
No problem.
No worries.
No problem.
How did it go yesterday?
It was great. It was great. A lot of people asked a lot of questions about
Cool.
the product here. The games were great. It was awesome. It was a great day. So,
Amazing.
yes, it was a great day.
As you can tell, I know nothing about chess.
Yeah, we just need to, just need to take the product. That's it, and start studying. Okay, Jacqueline. That's what it is. Get you a book.
Is my audio coming through here at all or no?
It's coming through. It's just a little bit low. Maybe you have to
Very soft,
speak
yeah.
more closer to the camera or closer to the.
I'll speak up.
There you go. That works better.
works.
Okay, great. All right, so let's get into some of the big questions around this. So, Jacqueline, what is a nootropic, and why should the chess community in general be interested in these types of things?
Yeah, it's a great question. It's a funny word, right? Nootropic, and even kind of looks funny when you see it spelled out. But basically, we use the term nootropic for any kind of a compound. This could be a nutrient or something that comes from a plant that works to support the health and function of the brain. So that can be things like helping with focus or attention or just mental energy. So your ability to have sustained concentration or attention, things like that. So why important for chess players? Well, I don't know that much about chess, Caleb. You know a lot more about chess than I do, but I'm watching these guys play and they look like they have to be pretty focused and pretty much on with their mental energy while they are playing this kind of a game. So I would assume that that things that can enhance that process for people are probably really helpful.
Yeah, I think something that you could definitely break down would be, like, sometimes when you play a chess game, it can go 4 or 5 hours. So
Yeah.
maybe the timeline of Sage Extra, and kind of how it works in the brain could be great for people to understand.
Yeah, it's a really special product. So I think one of the things that's nice is most of the time when people think about fast-acting nootropics, what they're familiar with is caffeine, and which is a nootropic. When you use caffeine appropriately, it does give you more energy for some people, not for all, but it will increase their focus and things like that. But it has some drawbacks, and the drawbacks of caffeine can be it can make you kind of jittery, it can make you sort of anxious. For some people, it can, even sort of, make them feel like they're just sort of sped up a little bit, which isn't necessarily great if what you need is really focused attention and concentration. So, the nice thing about Sage Extra is it does work quickly. There's data actually showing that it can start to work within the first like 30 to 60 minutes for people, which is fast onset. That's about like a cup of coffee, but it doesn't cause any of that jitteriness. It really kind of is helping with attention and accuracy, sort of memory, but without kind of creating that buzz that people get from caffeine.
That's a great answer. How about another one like cognizine, citicoline? How does that affect the brain
Yeah.
on the short term and the long term? Yeah.
Yeah, so citicoline is kind of a special form of choline, which is like we have a bunch of kinds of choline. You find them in the diet in places like egg yolk is a great source of choline that we can find in the diet. But citicoline, we've studied it particularly for brain health and function. It's a nice nutrient to have because it is a component of one of the natural chemicals in your brain that's called acetylcholine. So you hear that word choline again in that neurotransmitter, right? So we have choline, which is sort of a building block for this chemical in your brain called acetylcholine, which is important for how we do learning in the brain, also important for things like mental recall, focus, mental energy. So what citicoline really is doing is just kind of contributing to that natural process of feeding that system in your brain for creating healthy amounts of acetylcholine.
James, do you have any questions, or I can also ask a couple more?
Yeah, sure. Actually, let's actually go over to Li Fong and James Sherlock there, actually to see if they've done anything with the product yet too. I know Li Fong said you had a question. He wasn't able to receive product yet, which is totally a bummer there because of the Canada, which is okay. But Li Fong, what questions do you have?
Yeah, so I was excited to test the product. Unfortunately, Canada Post decided to go on strike and didn't get a product in time. Essentially, I don't know too much about the product, but I am a huge coffee fan.
Mm.
So, as a coffee fan, what would you say are, let's say, the main differences between this product and coffee, and how is it going to sort of replace the need I have for coffee?
Yeah.
Great
So,
question.
I mean, that's a great question. So, I talked a little bit about caffeine, but let me give you a little bit more detail on that. So, caffeine, as I said, is also a nootropic, but it's one that has some downsides. For one, it can, if you've probably had this moment where you've had too much coffee and you feel a little sped up and jittery, and that can actually go against being able to focus and pay attention for some people if they feel sort of too speedy from coffee. It also, and I don't know if this is an issue, but it's also a diuretic. So like if you probably need to sit for a long time and be focused on a chess game, I'm assuming what you don't want to have to do is get up and use the bathroom. So there's also sort of a drawback of having that effect of, it also sort of speeds up digestion. So some people find that it just makes them have to make more frequent trips to visit a bathroom for various reasons with caffeine and coffee in general. So I think those are like more like disadvantages of caffeine than they are advantages of the product. So I think when you're looking at the compounds that are in the mental athlete product, it has a lot of the same advantages for memory, attention, focus, sort of mental acuity, but without having those drawbacks of caffeine, where it doesn't make people feel sped up. The other kind of nice thing is that compounds like citicoline actually work better over time. So if you keep like caffeine it's caffeine. It's short acting. It's out of your body in a few hours and it's done. It doesn't have any kind of cumulative benefit over time. Whereas something like citicoline or theanine. Some of these ingredients really do actually have more benefit if you take them over longer periods of time, which is definitely not true with caffeine.
Well, thanks for this explanation. I'm really looking forward to testing the product. And,
Yeah, sorry about the strike. It's just borders, but
James, were you able to take the product at all?
Not yet, but I have it. I do have some questions.
Sure.
So the first thing I wanted to ask, I know Caleb mentioned that, as you might know, chess games can last pretty long, especially classical games, like 4 to 5 hours is not too crazy. So I was just curious, like, let's say I take it before the game, hypothetically, how long would you think that it would have an effect, or how long would you think there would be like a noticeable
Yeah, and
effect?
most of that's going to be based off the Sage Extra, but that's kind of a perfect sort of window of time. Is if you thought about taking it maybe 30 minutes to an hour before a game, you should be able to sort of maintain this, what I would call acute sort of benefits of that throughout the entire length of a game, which is great.
Okay, very cool, very cool.
Yeah.
So would you, like, this is not really like a question, but I'm just curious, like, would you recommend like taking one before games, like?
I think
like
it's
before,
I
like,
think it's
serious
one way.
tournament
I think
games?
it's one way that you can use the product. So I think probably the two ways that you would think about using this product would be for getting the benefits over time of having, those sustained benefits for mental energy and memory and clarity and focus. But for that acute sort of onset benefit, taking something before a game would probably be the way to look at the product. So there's sort of a benefit to both, if that makes sense.
Cool.
So there's some questions from chat actually, really quickly. Is why does a 20-year-old need this product as opposed to a 65-year-old? Serious question. That's what it is.
Well, I think it probably depends on what you're doing with your brain, right? So, I mean, I don't think that things like this are really age specific at all. This isn't really about sort of preventing mental decline. It's really about making your brain as sharp and focused as you can for certain kinds of tasks. And that's probably a lot more important with some kinds of tasks than it is with other kinds of tasks. So there's a reason that we have there's actually a fair number of dietary ingredients that have been studied in what I would call gaming environments, or studied in high stress executive situations where people need to have like really quick sort of recall and really be able to have that in a sustained way. So I think it's more about what you're doing with your brain rather than your age.
Amazing. Let's take a few more questions here, Caleb, and get the players back to it, so we can get back to the match. I'm sure they're eager to play. Caleb, do you have anything else?
Yeah, I've got a couple more. So, Jacqueline, maybe you could share a little bit about the companies and the history, behind Stratum and Kiwahako, just to give the audience a bit of a background as to like where this is coming from and what these companies are all about. Oh, yeah. and Paragon Labs, actually. Thank you.
I may not be the best person to give a lot of the detail on that, but I can say just a little bit, Caleb, because I think that sometimes this whole industry that makes vitamins and supplements is a little mysterious to people. So first of all, in terms of the actual manufacturing, and that's Paragon Labs that you're using for manufacturing, it's really important anytime you're making a product like this to have a manufacturer that really is working under strict guidelines for good manufacturing practices and has like the right certifications to do that. And like with all things, there's good manufacturers and there's not good manufacturers. I'm sure that's probably even true within the world of chess. There's probably, equipment and chessboards and things some that are really great quality and some that you're worried that they're going to fall apart, right? So it's really the same thing. And that, also leads into, not just quality, but safety and other things like that. So the couple of the ingredients you pointed out Stratum, and they're providing the Sage Extra, and Kiwahako, who's providing the Cognizin. These are both highly respected branded ingredient companies. And when I say a branded ingredient company, we kind of have two general camps for ingredient companies in the dietary supplement world. We have generic suppliers, and a lot of them are supplying the kinds of things that you're just seeing in multivitamins, vitamin C, and where we don't really need a lot of specialized forms or special scientific inquiry or study that goes along with them. The branded ingredient companies like KYLO or Stratum are the ones that have tended to put in a lot of the work in conducting clinical trials and making sure that there is really good supportive data to go along with the ingredients. And while there's a price that comes along with it, tends to mean those ingredients are more expensive. It also means that they are the ones that are backed by significant research. So hope that's helpful.
And that's great. Let's do one more.
Okay.
Question. How would you say mental athlete on the whole affects memory, short-term and long-term? And maybe, I'd say we've kept it, broad, which is good, but if you want, go ahead and dive into maybe a little bit of the science behind how memory works and maybe how some of the ingredients affect memory. So that's very important for chess players.
Yeah, I think it's easiest to explain it with the cognizant, because memory is really a biochemical process in our brains, right? So you have to really have this sort of communication. All your nerve cells don't quite touch each other. They're sort of a little separate from each other in a network, right? And so we have to have a way for them to be talking to each other so that information can be moved around the brain and then stored places. And that's what we kind of call memory. The other part of that is, how do we recall that? Like, how do we bring that information back out? And all of that is conducted by neurotransmitters, by these chemicals in the brain that act as communication molecules. So cognizin is the form of choline, acetylcholine, sometimes called CDP choline, that has been best studied for supporting the production of one of those chemicals, which is acetylcholine, which is really, really important for how we do all of those parts of memory, sort of both creating memory and memory retrieval. So that's probably the easiest one for me to explain.
That was great. Guys, if you have any more questions, James, Lafong, or the chat, let's do them right now. But if no one does, then I guess we can. Yeah. So let's see. Anyone have any other questions?
We could also talk about theanine if you want to talk about theanine a little bit.
That's a great one. Yeah.
I can just say a little word. That's because you also have theanine in this product, which is it's great. I'm going to come back to Lafong's question about caffeine. So a lot of our plants that have caffeine in them, not so much coffee, but almost like tea is a really good example. They have caffeine, but they also have theanine. And so you can kind of think of theanine as this kind of cool counterpart to caffeine. It is the calm to like the sort of jitteriness of caffeine. But when we use it by itself, it actually sort of promotes what we call a calm alert state. So it increases actually part of brain activity that's called alpha waves, which is really what people often describe when they say they're in the zone, right? When they say, I'm feeling like I'm in the zone, that is kind of the mechanism of what theanine is doing in the brain. So it helps sort of keep people focused, but also sort of very calm in that focus. That's very, very cool compound to have by itself.
It's incredible. Incredible to have everything together like that with Sage Extra and the L-theanine. That is amazing. In fact, it's just saying get more of the product is what Jacqueline is saying.
Right. Anyone have any other questions?
I'm good to go. Thank you.
Okay.
Well, I'm good to go too. I think that answered a lot of my questions, and I cannot wait to try the product, honestly.
Cool. Well,
yes.
hopefully there's a way to get you some.
Actually,
There will be on.
There will be. Yeah.
Incredible having you. Actually, we're going to have you on one more time to do a couple of different questions later on in the tournament, guys. So
Yeah.
let's tune in. I think that'll be quarterfinals. Anyway, Jacqueline, thank you so much for joining. And I hope everyone has learned quite a bit about science and the products.
It's a pleasure to be here, and good luck to all the players.
Thank you, Jacqueline. I'll see you
Thank
soon. I have some
Okay,
big
good
questions
job.
for you later in the tournament too, so be ready.
Great. I'm looking forward to what comes in. Thanks, you guys.
Awesome. See you.
Bye.
Bye. All right, Lifong and James, you guys are ready to go whenever you are. You can rematch, and of course, you guys have two games left. Yes.
Can I have a couple minutes,
Sure.
maybe like a 5 minutes to take a break?
Absolutely, no problem.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay, so James, I guess you can send a challenge in about 5 minutes? Well,
I don't know
I
if
was
he heard
talking
you
to
there.
Chairlift, but
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Anyways, you guys let him
We
know.
heard you. Okay.
I'll be back.
Okay.
Okay. See you guys in 5.
All right. Sherlock, can you hear me? Yeah, I don't think he can hear anyone. He's just completely locked in. Yo, James. Can you hear me, Sherlock? He's out of it. He's locked in, boys. He like locked in. Let me take off this. Set up their cameras again. Yeah, he's just not there. That is funny. I have to make these bigger. Okay, he's taking a break. Okay, cool. Hopefully, he's back. Hopefully, guys. Because he's just not there. He was not. No, he was listening. He was there. He had some questions too. All right, Lee Fong taking bathroom breaks. She was just talking about this. Gypsy, come on, bro. Thanks for the follow, Ashul. He was not. I said, what up, Gench? What's going on? But guys, my personal experience. I keep saying this. It's just very true. I am jealous at the fact that I have to share this with you guys because I know the edge that I've had through this and playing better, being better, and how sharp I am. So it's annoying that I have to give this to you guys, but at the same time, I want you guys to experience it for yourself. I see we got Caleb back with us, so let me put you back in there. But use my code, guys, James C3. You can get literally always percentages off, 25%, sorry, 33% off, which is like it goes from $70 to like less than 50, which is really nice. Use my code in chat. Let me actually put that in here. What's up, kids? I'm chilly. What's up, dog? What's good? And then let me put Caleb back on here so you guys can see him as well.
Yeah.
Boom. Okay.
Guys, I hope Jacqueline was really informative for you all. We're gonna have plenty of other scientists coming on though. Tomorrow we've got we have someone from Cognizant. We're also gonna have the person from Sage Extra come on for 3 different slots later on in the tournament, Alexis Collins. So we're going to get a lot of different perspectives, but hopefully she gave a nice overall introduction to.
Absolutely. I thought it was amazing. In fact, all right. So I think, I don't know if James can hear us. Sherlock, can you hear us? Lee Fong, I don't think he can hear us. Oh, there we go. Okay, cool. They're live. Perfect. Yeah, he was just so locked in, like he had everyone, even himself, on mute. And of course, with great understanding though, because he's got to win. Yeah, he's got to win. Right, he's got to win here. 2.5 wins the match. I think he had a little bit of time to check here. Whoa, I forgot about this triple pawn type of idea here. This happened really quickly. E4, and yeah, this was they went through this line before.
I think we all know what the other James might have been doing, which is
he was prepping. Yeah, you can tell how fast he's moving right now. Yeah, he went here, F3, C5. He went Bishop A5, and then takes Queen A5. So this is what he prepped. And castles, and now he's looking at this line. Yeah, I think he's feeling a lot better, because he was more hesitant in the last matchup when this happened.
Yeah, this is a crazy line. I really wonder what the theory is here, but again, it's like long term. I think you just gotta like White's chances with the 2 bishops, even though he's got the pawn weaknesses. I mean, Black's got a lot of weak dark squares and no square bishop, so it feels like a very risky line, honestly, for Black to play.
Yeah. Hey, Louisa. Hello. What is up, girl? It's my wife. So, yeah, she's watching. We got to get her in the chess. Okay, queen takes c4. Wow, he just stole his pawn. Can he really take this? I guess he can. I mean, he's already just, I don't know if this is better, but it kind of feels like it. There is some compensation. Bishop a3 hits the rook. You move the rook over, and then maybe rook c1. I don't know. That preparation really paid off here for well, D6. This is definitely some preparation. I think he was doing a lot of prepping during the round.
I would agree.
D6, bro. What is this?
So
what
I
on
guess
earth is this?
Yeah, is if bishop takes, you're gonna go rook d8, and you're gonna induce e5 to go knight d5. That would be a killer knight.
Yeah.
So you probably have to take with the queen, but then maybe you're saying I'll go knight c6, and then oh no, it's hitting the rook.
Yeah, it's mate. So you gotta move the rook first.
8? That's crazy.
Yeah, this is insane. Like, how do you develop all of it? Okay, knight's pretty easy. Bishop d7 maybe though, and this knight can't really move yet because of this. So, very interesting.
Very interesting. Maybe there's some ideas involving e5 to stop the knight from coming into d4. E5, bishop e6
Yeah.
could be a nice way, but it's like the two bishops, especially if you trade queens, pawn takes, and there's no pawn weaknesses. So
yeah, that's why he plays queen c7, knight c6 can now hit the queen in a lot of cases as well.
yeah, if I'm black, I'm definitely thinking about knight c6, e5, and bishop e6 is an idea, like kind of dominating that knight.
I thought this was a quite annoying move. I really didn't like this at all. In fact, if we go back here, yeah, there was nothing I could do to even swing around. I really didn't want a queen trade, but I didn't really have a choice, did I? Queen d3, that's a provocative move. But it might have worked because queen e3 check. I'm just trying to like avoid the queen trade at all costs.
Yeah, I mean, queen d3, rook d1.
Queen d3, rook d1, queen c2, like, maybe queen e3 once again, then I go this way. It's like ridiculous. But, yeah, here we go. We have a repeat. And he's like, yeah, I'll take a draw. You know, I'm that much closer. Let's see what he wants to do here.
Honestly, if I'm James, I would probably take a draw here because, you know, then it's 2-1. You got the white pieces. Definitely not a bad result, especially if he's confident from the white side.
That's true. If he's confident from white side, he could just take a draw right now. Really put him in a must-win situation. He's going to have to play ultra aggressive there. See if he's able to come out with the win here, which is very, very important in the fourth and final game.
Absolutely. So James taking some time here. Take some time.
Yeah, queen b4. It's the queen. Thinking about, does he take the draw, chat? Over, under? What do you think? Does he take the draw? Or does he move the queen away? I mean, he can, again, try this queen d3 idea if you really want to go for it.
That's so risky, especially
it is.
Like that. That would feel bad, man.
It is. And in fact, queen d3, rook d1, queen e3, bishop c1, queen... Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, he's going for a queen d3 on the board.
Wow.
He said, I don't care about none of that.
But what's the idea behind... So rook d1, queen e3...
Bishop c1, and then you have to trade.
Yeah, this is... I'm a little confused. So rook d1, queen c2.
Rook d2.
Rook d2, queen...
You got nowhere to go. Bishop c1 and queen b6. But okay, queen b6 takes, and he opens the a file.
That's a very good, nice understanding.
He also wins a pawn.
James, showing that he can mess up his pawns, but to get a lot of counterplay.
Yeah, he also wins the pawn on a4 too as well. Yeah, bishop c1, queen b6, queen takes b6, a takes, rook a1, bishop d7, and it hits the pawn on a4, and you're able to win the pawn out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Very interesting game.
Guys, just want to share something. The product over here, Mental Athlete, it might look on the more expensive side, even after you use James' code. But when you think about it, you know, you get 30 tablets, you take one before you're going to do your thing, and it amounts to, you know, $1.10 a tablet. Think about how much your cup of coffee costs, or how much other things cost.
This from Starbucks be like $7. I ain't gonna lie, I'm guilty of that.
This is something that will deliver, if not the same, if not much better benefits, really for a much lower price. So keep that in mind.
That's right, guys. Starbucks drink be like $7. My wife got me on the Dunkin' Latte, 6 pumps of caramel swirl, and Dunkin' Donuts, right? She got me on that one. But of course, you know, I supplement it now with this right here. Use my code James C3, gets you 33% off. I'm gonna put the link in chat right now. You guys go do your thing, and it's you get a lifetime percentage off with that. James C3. So I like this idea with his queen back. If he went queen G6, there was a knight F4. So I did see this in calculation. If knight F4, he was going to swing the queen over like this anyway. I mean, this queen maneuver is just incredible. I was looking at this thing with queen, C7 here. I mean, look at the queen's route, Look at the queen. So many moves here just to avoid the queen trade, but I totally understand. He wants some dynamic play, and he doesn't want to trade and go to end games because it's going to be difficult for him in not a must-win situation, but he's looking not to trade. Queen C7 now might be better because if queen D6, then we take on C3, which is played now, and now we can develop with knight to C6. I think he found a very resourceful way.
Wow, I really like what James has done here. King weak, but also a lot of pawns are weak. James got a time advantage. I feel like he's definitely gotten out of the worst of it.
I think so too as well. Bishop E7 I like because after bishop takes, we'll take with the B knight and do something as we saw in his first game. We're putting pressure on the C file and no weaknesses. No weaknesses for black's position. In the meanwhile, white has more pawn islands, 1, 2, and 3. This whole island here, where white just has only 2 pawn, or black has 2 pawn islands. So we'll see what happens.
Castles. Queen B6. I guess idea might be queen D4. Well, I guess there's no threat with A6. The queen's defended. So A6 immediately makes sense.
And then bishop takes, take with the knight. Knight B to D. You could try knight F and B. Yeah, I was going to say, because he's trying to play for a win, so he'd probably go this route just to make it different.
I definitely like what he's doing here. He got rid of the 2 bishops,
Queen
He can
D6.
hit the C3 pawn, knight C6 now maybe. Bring the other knight maybe E5, C4.
Here we go. Trade is forced. Knight E5 with knight C4 idea. But yeah, I mean, now he's traded on terms that I think is very good for him. Maybe bishop F2. The C4 square is his. He could bring the rook over this way. Maybe rook C7 because of rook B1 ideas. I think he's made that strange queen maneuver has worked out for him.
Yeah. If I were him, I'd also probably try and trade a pair of rooks. Can be a classic way to help convert endgames. 2 rooks can create a lot of problems, but you get rid of one, and that can make things a lot easier. So, might try that if I were him.
Here's the bishop. Obviously, he's going to move it. Bishop 2 seems correct. Here was bishop C1, though, stopping a knight B2 in the future as well. Rook A to C. Wait a second. Rook D7 is quite annoying. So he goes rook D8.
Yeah. Very, very, very sensible move. Get rid of a pair of rooks, bring the king, F8, E7.
I like
and
it.
Hit those weaknesses.
I like it. F8, E6. Oh, nice. He said weaknesses here. Let me see if there's anything from Li Fong. Because knight B6 was a good move, which wins a pawn. I don't see any reaction. James, on the other hand, with a stretching, saying that I am comfortable. A lot of times in the chess, you can see the body language of a player. And James with a very comfortable stretch and sitting back after playing knight B6, realizing I'm winning a pawn here. I'm winning a pawn, feeling good about his position.
Yeah.
Also the time, Li Fong with down 3 minutes. That prep worked out. all that prep. He had a nice break. He was able to prep. Knight takes A4. Li Fong is behind a little bit.
You can even just put a pawn on B5 and the rook can't really even break through, bring a knight C6 to A5, C4, just complete domination.
That is correct. B5 might be a C4. Wait,
C4.
can you take here right now? Oh, there's knight D1. Yeah, I was going to go with the trickery, rook D3. But knight D1, that would be crucial. I really wanted to avoid this, but...
Oh, there might have been rook D3 actually in that position before B5.
Yeah.
That might have worked. In fact,
that takes. That could have been nice. Yeah, that could have been nice. And it takes.
But now he's going to try and make a pass pawn, and I would bet James would convert this. We'll see.
So too as well.
Double the time, too.
Definitely. Looks good on time. Knight B4 is maybe a possibility, too. Maybe try to swing the knight into D3 in some cases. See what happens. In the meantime, guys, I'm just gonna show the little bit of if you guys are missing the bracket and the matchups that we've had so far while we wait for this. So bracket is round of 16. This is where we are right now. And then people have already made it to the quarterfinals. If you have missed it and didn't know what's going on, match 8 already happened. That was Luke Hoffman versus Benjamin Bach. Benjamin Bach was able to win that one and go into the quarterfinals. Match B, which was yesterday, Alex Linderman, Lucius Malillo. Alex Linderman was able to win that one. Match C, which was today, William Grave and Eric Liu earlier. So Eric was able to punch his way through to the quarterfinals. And then we're on match D right now, which will be the last matchup of the day. And then we'll get into tomorrow's matchups after this one is done. So lots of work. And we got moves, by the way. He did go with knight b4. There's a capture on b5 and knight to c2 is an idea that is really strong.
Yeah, I can definitely see the knights just kind of tearing apart white, especially because, you know, minor pieces are very weak when you don't have anchors, and white's pieces are unanchored here. They are kind of just without a home. The king is probably the worst of all defenders, so looking tough. But knight d4 is a good try. Thinking if there's a way to just play like rook c8 and get into c2. You also want to free up the back rank though and not get mated somehow. So you got to be careful here.
And somehow it feels like, yeah, but these knights are very aggressive here. I mean, stopping the b1 square, defending b5, e5 is coming. Yeah, this is just a great position here. e5? What happens on e5? That is a good question.
e5, knight f5. You know, that's something I might not want to try, though, because how can you let a knight get into f5? Things might get a little bit tricky. So maybe
it's very tricky. And g6 and knight h6.
Maybe you just drop the pawn to h6, create some space for the king. And, I mean, is rook a3 something to be scared of here? Rook a3, maybe. A lot of pins going on.
Oh, there's knight d1 actually there, weirdly enough.
Ooh, that is beautiful.
Nice little tactic.
Over. So, yeah, h6 by James. He saw that.
What's going on, Eskia? Young Bogler, what's going on, guys? What's good, man? What's up? We're here at the Mental Athlete Rapid Chess Championship. Welcome. The first of its kind. We are on our, is this our fourth match? Let me see. Match 1, 2, 3. I'm going to check right now. This is the fourth match. Yeah, guys. So welcome. This is our fourth match of the tournament. A lot of matches are already going on. Product has been going out. And, of course, it's time to get y'all some, too, as well. You know what I mean? I got mine. I got my bottles ready to go. Use my code, bros. Love your stuff on IG. Appreciate you, bro. Thank you, man. We on IG every day. Every day. Send me the... Exactly, sir. You already know. All right, so knight a2. Whoa, that pawn is hanging. Is hanging. Will he take it? No, because his rook is hanging. I'm a mental athlete myself. If I do say so myself. Let's go, Eskia. Now you got the right stuff to go with it. Right product as well.
Knight c3, yeah.
Takes
some
six.
great maneuvering of the knights here. Yes,
great maneuvering of the knights. Got to watch out. Knight d1 is a real thing. Wait a second. Did he just lose an exchange? Knight d1 anyway. No, doesn't work. Wait, it does. Wait, no, it doesn't. Wow. Takes.
Yeah, no, that's how you could draw this game, actually.
I mean,
wait. No. Knight d1.
Oh, wait. Oh, he loses. Yeah, there it is. Li Fong.
Right.
Li Fong. Resignation. Found it. Last game. Oh my goodness.
Unless it's a draw. If it's a draw, we're gonna do some Armageddon. But
that's right.
We will see.
That's right. He lost that pawn. That prep worked out for him in an M zone. Very nice.
What we expected with ratings these close. If you look at their FIDE ratings, they're actually both within about 50 points of each other. So both very close in level. James might be a little more active nowadays on the tournament scene, but Lafong has clearly still got it with 1.5 of 3.
Yeah, in fact, as James takes a short break there, happens, you know, well, he's coming back. Game starting. Will this be the last game, chat? What do you think? What do you think? This is a 4-game match. So, of course, it doesn't reflect, actually, because I guess they took a break. That break there changed it because it says it's only 1-0. But this is not correct. In fact, the score is tied 1.5.
Yeah.
So James here on the move, thinking about what he wants to play. He's like, I'll go e4. And he goes back to the Sicilian. Let's see what he plays. Will he play knight f3? Will he play c3? Knight f3. Going back to this line, he goes c3. Yeah, this is the annoying one. And the Fawn thinks about what he wants to play here. c3. He looks up, and there we go. Delayed Alapin, as they call this one.
This is something I like to play in tournaments sometimes. Not this specific line, but I am an Alapin guy. So let's see what James does here.
Definitely loved an Alapin myself. 10 points away. Nice, Steve. Hey, congrats, on that. And just focus. Of course, get you some mental athlete, too. I would probably make an order, and then, take it and then go play. Then you probably get more than 10 points.
Guys, I actually want to share a tournament experience I had recently. I was at the Washington International Tournament out in Maryland. Very strong, a lot of top GMs. And I woke up for my morning round, second round. Fourth round. I woke up and I was feeling super groggy. The round was at 10 a.m. and I woke up at like 9:45, just completely tired. I took this product and I went on to win a nice game, but more importantly, the Sage Extra, it's the hero ingredient for a reason. You feel it instantly. Within a matter of like 20 minutes, I was locked in and in the zone. That is what the soul of this product really is. The other ingredients are very good, cognizant for long term, but the Sage Extra is really where it is at. Very, very good for tournament play. Very good, especially classical chess. Long
hour, right? Exactly, long hours and sitting there, grinding and grueling at the board, especially if you got 2 a day. That usually U.S. tournaments have. We usually have 2 a day. I went over. I forgot where I was. I was in Portugal. I played 1 year and 2 years actually back to back at the Maya Chess Open, and there was like 1 round a day. I was like, what? Y'all do 1 round? Like, this is unreal. I love this, So big fan of the 1 round a day type of things, but we're accustomed and conditioned here in the U.S. for 2 rounds a day. You was at Maya this year. Nice. Yeah, that's awesome, dude. Yeah, I went there a few years, so it was pretty nice. I had a great game there actually in Cellar the Dragon with the black pieces last time I went against a strong FM. She was like 2350 or something. I won in like 20 moves. It was nice. So, but yeah, now we're here. And now we're back. Queen B3. Not a fan of that move, especially. But okay, you know what? It's 1.5. So score wise, okay, I get it. Plus the Alapin has good end games.
Yeah, Alapin does have nice end games for white.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very even position. Little time spent from both players. Not much to judge here. Although usually in these end games, it is to be slightly preferred for black if white does not get the open A file or some sort of compensation, because the 4-on-3 can just be a little more solid, a little better than the 3-on-2 on the king side. Especially that Fiat bishop can be very, very nasty if the king doesn't have to worry about anything happening to it.
Very important. All right, here we go. I'm going to Amsterdam Chess Open with double rounds. So I'm gonna need that mental athlete. Oh my goodness, make sure you take it 6 hours apart. I need you to get the subscription. In fact, the subscription, so it comes to you. That double round. Oof.
Really, the most grueling part of chess, especially when it's, like 90 plus 30.
Yeah. And you got to break.
Each player's 5 minutes, and the game goes another hour because of the increment.
And you need, then you got to eat lunch, and think and debrief after the round. And if you have the last game in there, you only got like an hour to go get some lunch and then come back for the next round. That stuff's grueling, guys. It's tough. How many games is this match? It is a 4-game match. 4-game match. It's tied actually 1.5. The score doesn't reflect because they did restart their match or whatever. Not like restarted, but like the rematch was a little bit later, so they didn't do it. No extra time at 40.
That's a great question, Landon. I don't know if you were here when Jacqueline was on. She gave a great answer, but I'll give a simple answer. So, caffeine, I wouldn't even say gives you fuel. Caffeine gives you, I would say,
borrowed energy.
A spike in energy, almost like that. What our product does, especially with the Sage Extra, is it's more kind of like that, but you don't get any of that. You don't get the dip. It's more sort of clean energy. But if you read some of the studies on the Sage Extra, you will see that like people are feeling it just like that. It's been studied on all ages. Also, the phosphatidylserine, very, very acute and very sharp stuff. So there is definitely some fuel, and you've got to try it to feel it. But it is definitely something that is in a different league from caffeine.
I see. Cool. Yes, you can read all about it too, Landon. Actually, too, about the science and stuff like that. I frequently do it. My favorite 2 ingredients are the sage extra and the L-theanine. I was a big fan of amino acids anyway, and I was like, oh, you're getting like a direct L-theanine is insane. And then sage extra, which I was not familiar with until now. It helps with the memory and obviously recalling things and stuff like that. I thought that was awesome. So, and it's all products that are healthy for you and studied. So I was a big fan of it, especially the research when the science tells you like, oh, this is like this is like a super concoction here. Like, how did you make this, right? So this is amazing, and it definitely helps. I'm a power user myself, and I keep saying it, but yes, I am sort of jealous that you guys get it too, because it's like I know I have an edge on the person who doesn't take it. But if you take it, I mean, now I have to work harder, because I have to take it and I have to study more because I want to make sure I'm better than you are, So that's how it is, chat.
Yeah. Another important thing for anyone who didn't hear Jacqueline get into it was that there are a lot of products out there and a lot of ingredients. And one of the reasons Sage Extra is separated from the other ingredients is that it is a branded ingredient. It's patented. They've put in millions and millions of dollars into studying this across age groups in Japan, in the U.S. A lot of things, like a lot of other ingredients, don't have those studies or the claims they can use to back it up. And the manufacturer for this product out in California, made in the USA, very reputable brand, Paragon Laboratories. They've been in the game for 2-3 generations, work with 9 and 10 figure brands. There's some very legitimate stuff behind Mental Athlete.
Yeah.
So this is one of those end games we were talking about, James, with the 4-on-3, 3-on-2. And yeah, I would slightly prefer black, even though it's probably a draw. Knight c6, king d6, very solid here. But this is very drawish, for being real.
Which means we might have an Armageddon here, which would be our first of the entire event. And if that is, we're going to have them I'm going to have them write on a piece of paper or put on their phone where I can see it, basically, what your bid is of 10 minutes. And whoever wins the bid will actually get the black pieces. And, that's the Armageddon of the black gets to draw odds of winning. So if they draw, they win.
Knight c6, a3. An idea here for black to possibly create chances could be something like e5, f5, g5, h5. Just throw all the pawns down and see if you can create something, because it doesn't look like white has too much, especially because if you push c5, king comes into d5, and that's where things get a little bad. So yeah, I mean, I might try that, but still very hard to make progress.
Still very difficult. Whoa, e4, was that a slip? Oh my goodness, look at him.
Oh
no. My goodness.
Oh no.
I wonder if James is trying to figure out how to give him that back. No, but he takes it. Oh my goodness. What a time to mouse slip.
That is not the right time.
Oh my goodness. This is crucial. His score is 1.5. Oh my goodness. Maybe he offers him a draw out of respect, which I understand. But I totally understand if he doesn't, because mouse slips, guys, are part of the chess in this day and age. In this day and age of computerized and human engine chess and playing chess online, mouse slips are part of it. You have to chalk it up to the game. It sucks. It hurts. But it is part of it. And if, James goes on to play the game and wins the match, it's part of it. It's totally normal. And if he also offers a draw, that is a great sportsmanship too as well. But him not offering a draw is totally normal and it's great sportsmanship as well.
Yeah, I mean, you saw James throwing that little laugh there that you see when it's like, that did not deserve to happen, but it happened and I'm happy. So we'll see if James converts this. I mean, b5 might be tempting, but could actually make this very drawable, if you lose your control over the squares. But if you just sit tight here, just play maybe h3, g4. Still not that easy though to make progress here.
Yeah, exactly. It's still not that easy, which is a good thing. His king, Lafong's king being on d6, having a better king helps a lot. In fact, as you see in games with the activity of the king, his king being very active on d6 is working. It looks pretty nice. It's actually working for him with the king on d6. And of course, you do have, in fact, if you go to Jeremy Silman's in-game courses where I learned it, I was already master when I got the book, but I did like the title of Fox in a Chicken Coop kind of idea, where you actually give up one pawn, for instance, white having a 3 versus 2 on the queen side over there, as we're seeing right now. Usually what you could do is try to give up one of the pawns, white can, and then run the king to the other side of the board. So I'll draw the arrows here. These pawns here will try to, you know, fight for this one, meaning there's only going to be one pawn left, so this king is going to be kind of stuck dealing with this pawn, where our goal is somehow getting the king over here to run up and eat up these pawns like this. So it's possible, but it also is hard to create, especially with the extra knight on the board. In fact, Botvinnik, even I remember Botvinnik had a quote that says, "Knight in games are pawn in games," or, you know, in a way. So if you can trade the knights, you know, then okay, you have a pawn in game here, but the knight is very well placed on c6. So still chances for Lafon.
James, a very interesting idea. I'm thinking of a way to convert this might be, you know, throwing your knight into e5. Right now, you.
Oh my goodness, and have yeah, I like that idea. And yeah. Fox in the Chicken Coop idea. Very nice.
Sacking that pawn, c5 takes, walk the king in, because those pawns are not situated to stop the king's entry at all.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of weaknesses.
Very
so
nice.
b5 definitely makes sense here.
Very nice. Yes.
95 now. Yeah, this is looking very tricky.
Yes,
King
nice.
d4 also a very strong move, because thinking that the knight coming to b3, king c3, and you're keeping the knight out from any counterplay. That's a very, very good move.
95 hangs b4. Yeah, we were just saying if knight takes e5, b4 of course hangs in that case, which is why he plays b5 to be able to move the knight. So c5 can be played, maybe c5 anyway. Check king c4, knight d2, king b4. That should work. c5 takes, knight b3, king c4, knight a5, king b4. Yeah, possible.
I'd say the path to victory here. Knight e5 now. You could even go for knight b4 to d5, and the king cannot get that pawn. In fact, that might be there's knight b3 check. Okay, so he trades.
Look at the Zugzwang. No, look at the Zugzwang. H4. No, h3.
H3 g5.
H4.
You can't trade too many pawns. You do need to be careful here.
The goal here is to like make the king move off and try to do this.
Right.
Because his knight's trapped, which is so cool. That's a very strange Zugzwang. Wow. That's incredible.
And what's the idea now? Is it to go knight a6?
Knight on e5. Yeah, this is just lost. 95 is going to hit the pawn. There's a check, maybe king c3.
But you got to be careful. Okay, so king c3 though. King c3.
Yeah, king c3. King c4 runs into check in here.
King c3, knight c5. You can even take and go king d3, and your king walks in and wins.
Yeah, exactly.
Idea.
You can also maybe push, takes king here. Yeah, he's just a step away.
Right.
And you're able to eat up everything. Yeah, this is just lost.
Should be wraps.
King c3. He can't go knight c5. He goes back to a5. Now knight e5 wins the second pawn here.
Yeah, but now king b4, knight e5. I'm not really sure.
That's,
what they're for.
Knight e5, king c5, knight takes g6, takes, and knight e7, which hits f5 too. Possible. There's still some strange things that can happen. It really sucks to lose if Lafon loses, to lose like this on a mouse slip. That hurts. Actually, in the I Am Not a GM Speed Chess Championship, when I made it to the finals, I was able to beat Paulina Shuvalova, who has 2 GM norms. I had Kostia Kavulski, shout out to him, so a friend of mine, and then Lawrence Trent. I beat all 3 of them in matches to make to play Eric Rosen in the final, and I lost 2 games due to mouse slips. So I lost 3, and I lost the match by 3 games. So if it wasn't for those 2 mouse slips, you know, it would have been a much closer match there. I lost the entire match by 3 games, 2 of them on mean mouse slips. It hurt very bad. You can go back and watch it on YouTube, guys. But I know how that feels to lose. You lose, you know, crucial games on mouse slips here.
Guys, just want to let you know, tomorrow, 1 p.m., we're only having 1 match tomorrow. Or we should be only having 1 match tomorrow. Let me see quickly, James. Yeah, tomorrow we're only gonna have 1 match at 1 p.m. We are gonna have the head of sales at Cognizant come on to talk about the deep science behind that product specifically. So make sure to tune in. And you know, if you're on the fence about like, is this product for me? Does it work? And you're thinking about memory, Danielle tomorrow will come on and share some really important and interesting insight into mental athlete.
Absolutely. Wait, where's the match lineup? We'll talk about it. And in fact, as we with this game looks just over, it looked like Lafong's going to go down, unfortunately, in a way that was he would not like it with the mouse slip. Totally annoying, right, to say the least. But it happens. Now here is the bracket. Right now we have the round of 16. We're going to go into the quarterfinals quite soon, too, as well, and then semifinals, and then the final. We already had some matches already. Ben Bach won against Luke Hoffman. Then we have in this matchup, Linderman won against Malilio. And then over here, Eric Liu just won earlier today in our early matchup against William Grafe. This match looks like James Sherlock is going to move on into the quarterfinals too as well. And then I'm going to bring up the next two matches for you, but we're not going to show it yet. So I need you guys to stick around. You know how they say, like, in the YouTube videos, like, oh, don't go anywhere. I have something for you in the end. So you got to stick to see who is the next match, guys. You got to check. And we got to talk to you more about the product too as well. So use my code. Make sure you use my code, James C3. Here we go. We'll put it in chat. Always check. Exactly, Jim. I see it.
You know why I made it C3 is because James is, of course, the element C3.
James C3. Exactly. C3 is Cecile for the keel, is what I like to call it. We got attention, retention. There you go. That's key. There you go. The following making this as difficult as humanly possible. Love to see it. Love to see it. King F3, King E4, and then play G4, G5.
Yeah, this one should be over.
There it is. Trap the knight, and there it is. Claps there. Claps. Let's go to Zoom and talk to the players.
Yeah.
All right, guys. That is it. Congratulations, James and Lafong. But I'm assuming that was a mouse slip.
Yeah, I'm so sorry about that. I wish there was a way that, like, I couldn't take. Like, I was trying. I didn't want to take, but the problem is that if I don't take, I think I'm just, like, worse. So, like, obviously I can. But, like, it's very...
Hey, don't worry about it. Hey, James, like, someone in my chat said, did he offer a draw? I was like, why would he offer a draw? Like, it's on me.
Yeah, no, I mean, the thing is, like, I was gonna try to win if you took on F4 anyway, but I mean, it's just rough because, like, I can't, like, if there was a way where I could just avoid it and just not, like, still have decent winning chances, I'd probably do it, but there was just nothing I can do, like, because if I move my knight, you just go F5, and then it's all of a sudden, it's like...
Yeah, listen, it's a rapid match, like, for beginners out there. It's on me, or it's on you if you mouse slip.
Yeah.
Like, there are no excuses there, and it's completely my fault. I hate that the match has to end like this.
Yeah, we were saying the same thing.
That's very unfortunate.
Yeah, we all were saying the same thing.
I wish that, I wish that I blundered my queen instead.
Yeah. No, I
totally. Hey, James,
totally get that.
Congratulations! It was a good match, no matter what. I thought we played. I thought we played like 4 really interesting games, and
for sure.
I mean, you deserve it. It's fine.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Congratulations, James, and thanks for playing, Li Fong. We would love to have, of course, more of you, and this would not be our last event so with this too as well. We'd love to bring all of you guys back too, so you guys can talk chess, and also you can leave obviously when you're ready. And thanks for playing.
I do have to go. Thank you so much. Have a good one, guys.
See you, James.
Sure.
Take care.
See ya.
All right, Mr. Canty, do you need me around?
You can. You're good to go, Lafong. Thanks for bringing the energy in the stream as well. You played great. Obviously, it was annoying to lose like that. I totally understand. I had my own thing before with Eric Rosen in the I Am Not a James Pizza Championship. I had that in 2 games, actually, back to back. So mouse slips that were crucial. So understandable, Brand. Thanks for playing. Always great spirits and great energy, and great to have you. So, all right, I'll see you around, Lafong.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me too.
No problem.
Have a good one.
See ya. All right, boys and girls, that is a wrap. Let me actually take off the cams over there. Cool, we'll reset the cams later for tomorrow. But, all right, Caleb, we're going to run the whole stream. Actually, let me read the chat real quick. We got chat saying some stuff. Thank you, LaFawn. What's up, Green Tea for 2? What's going on? I see you, JD, running. What's up, boys? What's going on? So, before we get out of here, and James, sorry, yes. We're going to actually run through basically the bracket. Once again, boom, round of 16. If you're just getting here, you don't know what's going on, this is the Mental Athlete Rapid Chess Championship, the Invitational, first of its kind. Round 16, that's where we're in right now. Quarterfinals will be next, and then semifinals, and then the final. Matchup A has already happened. That was Benjamin Bach, Luke Hoffman. Benjamin Bach was able to punch his ticket to the quarterfinals. Matchup B was Alexander Lindemann and Lucius Melillo. Alexander Lindemann was able to win his matchup, so he moves on. Match C, which just happened, actually earlier today, if you missed it, William Gray versus Eric Liu. Eric was able to make his way through to the quarterfinals. Matchup D, if you were just here, you just saw what happened here. Lafong versus James Sherloff. Unfortunately, it ended in a mouse slip in the final game, and James Sherloff was able to win that one to punch his ticket to the quarterfinals. Hey guys, are you ready for the next matchup? Here it is. It's only one. It is, boom, there it is. You got Kieran Nasta versus Jesse Cry of the Chess Dojo.
Oh yeah.
Good
And maybe we'll also show matchup G quickly.
Matchup G. I was going to save it, but Caleb says he wants to show you guys. So you say, thanks, Caleb. Thanks, Caleb. Boom. Here it is. Oh, my goodness. Michael Rowe versus Alice Lee. Yeah, it's getting heated, guys. Yeah. Yes, you've got a lot more. And then we still have 2 other matchups that we're not going to show where they are yet. But they are going to be other matchups after this one. It's going to be a lot going on, guys. So matchup tomorrow will be Kieran Nasta versus Jesse Cry. So, all right, it's going to be 1 p.m. Eastern time, so hopefully you guys are there to watch it. Yeah, welcome to the dojo. Yeah, it's going to be hype tomorrow. We're going to have the boys on, and they're going to be supporting. It's going to be nice. But before we get out of here, guys, listen, go get you some product. I got bottles on bottles for me, man. I love taking the product. I love what it's done for my life and my sharpness, my efficiency, my memory, how I'm playing in chess, how I'm performing and trading, and just in everyday life. Definitely a big fan of it. Highly recommend it. And I want to hear your results, too, as well, when you start using the product. Use my code is in chat. You can use JamesC3 to get 33% off. It's basically just under $50 for that. Highly recommend. Get the subscription too as well, so you can like get it every month and get the same price too as well here. I'm going to put this on YouTube too, so if you're watching, make sure you subscribe and use the link under the video. And that's it from us. Caleb, you got anything for the chat?
Nothing big. I think this was a great stream. You know, it was a great match. And tomorrow, as I said, we've got a big scientist coming on at 1 p.m. after the first 2 rounds, guys. So stay tuned. Tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern. We'll see you there.
Let's go. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for being part of the stream. And until then, I'll see you tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern.
See you.